The Chicago Sky just witnessed the most embarrassing meltdown of the season, and Angel Reese is at the center of it all. What happened in Phoenix wasn't just a missed free throw, it was a complete collapse that exposed everything wrong with the Sky's season. And while her fans are desperately trying to blame everyone else, truth is far more shocking than anyone wants to admit. Before we dive into this absolute disaster, hit that subscribe button if you want the real story about what's happening in the WNBA, not the sugar-coated version Angel Reese's camp wants you to believe. Picture this scene, final seconds ticking down, Angel Reese at the free throw line with a chance to keep her team alive. Crowd is buzzing, cameras are rolling, and this is her moment to prove she belongs in the same conversation as the league's elite. Instead, what followed was so catastrophic that even her own coach couldn't hide his disappointment in the post-game interview. Tyler Marsh tried to cover for her, saying she asked if she should miss the free throw intentionally, and he told her to make it. But here's what really happened. She choked under the brightest light, and the entire arena watched as the ball clanked off the rim like it was allergic to going in. But that wasn't the whole story. Real controversy started when Sky fans immediately turned on their own coach, blaming Tyler Marsh for everything from bad rotations to supposedly sabotaging Angel Reese's development. Social media exploded with conspiracy theories so wild you'd think they were writing a Netflix thriller. Some fans claimed Marsh deliberately put Reese in positions to fail. Others suggested he was secretly working against her because he preferred other players. The excuses got so ridiculous that one Twitter thread actually blamed the arena lighting for throwing off her depth perception. What happened next would shock everyone who's been following this rivalry all season. While Angel Reese was busy fumbling another crucial moment, Caitlin Clark was breaking attendance records in Indiana and turning the Fever into must-watch television. Contrast couldn't be more obvious. Clark just dropped 35 points and 12 assists in her last game, while Reese managed to turn a simple free throw into a viral blooper. And here's the kicker. Clark's games are selling out arenas so fast that teams are literally moving to bigger venues just to handle the demand. Meanwhile, the Sky can barely fill half their seats unless they're playing against Clark herself. The numbers tell an even more devastating story. Angel Reese's team is 15-31 when she gets a double-double. Let that sink in. They're 15 games under 500 when she supposedly plays well. That's not a star player statistic. That's a participation trophy wrapped in empty stats. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who's turned the Indiana Fever from a lottery team into legitimate playoff contenders in her rookie season. Sophie Cunningham, who joined the Fever this year, has been singing Clark's praises non-stop, calling her a once-in-a-generation talent who makes everyone around her better. Here's where it gets absolutely insane. Angel Reese's fan base started spreading completely fabricated viewership numbers to compete with Clark's legitimate ratings dominance. They claimed her recent game against A'ja Wilson pulled 1.22 million viewers, but that number was from last season and only happened because it was the lead-in to a Caitlin Clark game that ran long. The actual viewership for Reese's recent game, around 230,000 on average. That's not just bad, that's catastrophically bad for a player who's supposed to be the face of a franchise. The desperation reached new height when Reese's camp started attacking her own teammates. Suddenly, every missed shot wasn't Angel's fault. It was because her teammates weren't setting proper screens, weren't passing at the right angle, weren't protecting her brand enough. They actually used the phrase protecting her brand when talking about professional basketball players who are just trying to win games. The mental gymnastics required to blame everyone except the person who literally missed the game-deciding free throw is Olympic-level delusion. What makes this even more embarrassing is timing. This collapse happened right as the WNBA is experiencing its biggest boom in history, largely thanks to Caitlin Clark's arrival. Television ratings are through the roof, merchandise sales are breaking records, and mainstream sports media is finally paying attention. But instead of riding this wave, Angel Reese is becoming the poster child for everything that held the league back before Clark showed up. She's more focused on social media clout than actual basketball improvement, more interested in manufactured beef than developing a reliable jump shot. Drop a comment below. Do you think Angel Reese will ever accept responsibility for her failures, or will she keep blaming everyone else while Caitlin Clark laps her in every meaningful category? The coaching controversy gets even wilder when you look at what Tyler Marsh actually said versus what Reese's fans claim he said. In the post-game presser, Marsh was asked directly about the missed free throw situation. He explained that Reese asked if she should intentionally miss to set up a potential offensive rebound, and he told her to make it because they needed the point. That's standard basketball strategy. Nothing controversial about it, but within hours, social media had twisted this into Marsh supposedly setting her up to fail, not believing in her ability, and even deliberately tanking her confidence. Meanwhile, the real story that nobody wants to talk about is Angel Reese's complete inability to perform in clutch moments. This isn't an isolated fabricated incident. It's a pattern that's been developing all season. Fourth quarter collapses, missed layups with the game on the line, turnovers in crucial possession. The list goes on and on. Her shooting percentage drops by nearly 20% in the final 5 minutes of close game. That's not a coaching problem. That's a mental toughness problem that no amount of Twitter defending fix. What's even more revealing is how different organizations are handling their young star. The Indiana Fever built an entire system around maximizing Caitlin Clark's talent. They brought in complementary players like Sophie Cunningham, who can shoot and create space. They run plays specifically designed to get Clark the ball in positions where she can either score or create for others. The result? Fever went from laughingstock to legitimate threat in one season. The Sky, on the other hand, seemed to be running the same tired offense regardless of who's on the court, and then wondering why their supposed superstar can't produce when it mattered. Fake viewership numbers scandal deserves its own investigation. Sky fans literally went back and pulled ratings from games that aired over a year ago, during different time slots, against different competition, and tried to pass them off as current number. They're so desperate to compete with Caitlin Clark's legitimate drawing power that they're resorting to straight up fabrication. The real numbers are brutal. Clark's games average over 1 million viewers consistently, while Reese struggles to break 300,000 even in primetime slot. But that wasn't even the most embarrassing part of this whole saga. The worst moment came when Angel Reese's own body language told the entire story. After missing that crucial free throw, cameras caught her walking back on defense with her head down, shoulders slumped, already defeated before the game was even over. Compare that to Caitlin Clark, who could be down 20 points with 30 seconds left and still be directing traffic, calling plays, fighting for every possession like it's Game 7 of the final. The referee conspiracy theories reached peak absurdity when fans started compiling video montages of supposed bad calls against Reese. The problem? Half the clips showed obvious fouls that were correctly called, and the other half were regular basketball plays that happened to every player dozens of times per season. They're so desperate to find external reasons for her failures that they're literally inventing controversies where none exist. One viral thread claimed the refs were instructed by the league office to call more fouls on Reese to boost Caitlin Clark's Rookie of the Year campaign. The mental gymnastics required to believe that the WNBA would sabotage one of its own players for another is staggering. What really exposes the delusion is looking at how actual WNBA legends are reacting to both players. Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, they're all praising Caitlin Clark's impact on the game, her court vision, her ability to elevate teammates. When they talk about Angel Reese, always qualified statements about potential and needing to develop her game. That's polite speak. She's not ready for the spotlight she's demanding. The statistical comparison is even more damning when you dig deeper. Caitlin Clark leads all rookies in points, assists, three-pointers made, and clutch scoring. She's top 5 in the entire league in several categories. Angel Reese leads the league in one category, offensive rebound, and even that stat is inflated because half of them come from rebounding her own missed layup. She's literally padding her stats by being bad at finishing around the rim. Here's something nobody's talking about: psychological impact this rivalry having Angel Reese. Every game, every possession, every shot is being compared to what Caitlin Clark is doing. That kind of pressure would break anyone, but especially someone who clearly wasn't prepared for this level of scrutiny. Instead of focusing on improving her game, she's constantly responding to comparison, defending her statistic, trying to manufacture moments that will go viral for the right reason instead of the wrong one. The free throw incident perfectly encapsulates everything wrong with how Angel Reese approaches big moments. Instead of stepping up with confidence, she's asking her coach whether she should miss intentionally. That's not the mindset of a superstar. That's someone looking for an escape route before they even attempt the shot. Real stars want the ball in those moments. They live for that pressure. Caitlin Clark would never ask if she should miss. She'd be focused on nothing but putting the ball through the net. What makes this even worse for Sky fans is that they can see what could have been. Fever were in a similar position last year. Struggling team, frustrated fan base, no clear direction. Then they drafted Caitlin Clark, brought in players like Sophie Cunningham who complement her style, and suddenly they're relevant again. The Sky had the same opportunity with Angel Reese, but instead of building around her strengths and addressing her weaknesses, they're enabling her excuses and deflecting blame. The aftermath of this latest embarrassment has been predictably chaotic. Angel Reese posted on social media about staying focused and blocking out the haters, but then spent the next 3 hours liking tweets that blamed everyone but her for the loss. Her teammates have gone radio silent, probably tired of being thrown under the bus every time she underperformed. And Tyler Marsh, he's trying to hold this team together while dealing with a fan base that wants him fired for the crime of expecting his star player to make a free throw. The real tragedy here isn't just one missed free free throw or one bad game. It's watching a player with genuine talent waste it because she's more concerned with her image than her improvement. Angel Reese could be a very good WNBA player if she focused on developing her skills instead of developing her brand, but as long as she keeps making excuses and her fans keep enabling her, she'll remain exactly what she is now. Cautionary tale about what happens when hype exceeds ability. The numbers don't lie, and neither does the eye test. While Caitlin Clark is revolutionizing women's basketball and turning the Indiana Fever into appointment viewing, Angel Reese is becoming synonymous with disappointment and deflection. One player is building a legacy that will be remembered for generations. The other is building a highlight reel of failures that her own fans have to pretend don't exist. This is bigger than basketball now. It's about accountability versus excuses, excellence versus mediocrity, earning respect versus demanding it. Caitlin Clark and Sophie Cunningham understand that respect comes from performance, not social media followers. Angel Reese still hasn't learned that lesson, and until she does, we'll keep seeing the same story play out over and over again. Big moment arrives, Reese failed. Excuses follow, rinse and repeat. If you think Angel Reese will ever live up to the hype, or if you're team Caitlin Clark all the way, smash that like button and subscribe for more real talk about what's actually happening in the WNBA. Because while some channels will sugarcoat the truth, we're here to give you the unfiltered reality of why some players become legends, others become cautionary tales.